All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Album Town podcast, where each week one of our guests picks an album. We all listen to it and we talk about it in depth, giving our opinions, thoughts, feelings, all that good stuff. This week, joining us, we have our lovely guests. We have Crispy, we have Laura,
Hi.
and we have Catherine.
Hello.
This week's episode will be the album Melt by the band Not for Radio, released last year in 2025. It's the solo project from Maria Zardoya, who is also the lead singer of the band The Marias. So we'll kind of go through each person, give like sort of quickish general thoughts, feelings about the album as a whole, their experience listening to it. And then once everyone's done that, we'll kind of go through track by track, give more specific thoughts and feelings. So Melt was chosen by Catherine. So we'll start with her. You have the floor.
So this was something that I have been listening to on repeat for honestly ever since it came out. And I had the pleasure of attending her Winter in the Garden tour. So it's a project that's really close to my heart. And as I listened to it, I just kind of had like streams of consciousness and wrote some stuff down that I will share with you now. Melt feels like a pause, hesitancy. It's such a specific ache, not loss itself, but anticipation of loss. I am transported to a place that's foggy and damp and mossy and cold, but not bitterly so. Rather, it's comforting. Sitting in the stillness beneath a tree, it echoes like a wisp guiding you through the mossy overgrowth, through the woods of heartbreak. She shuts with a daydream, stolen glances and intimacy, but she's already seeing the deterioration of that daydream. This amazing, intense, fragile feeling. What will happen to it when I press play? When I try? Will it become a memory? Will I only see you in puddles? No longer near me? Will you go? There's nothing I can do about any of this, but this is how it feels to experience the inevitable and just love anyway. There's no denial about what can or is happening, but she's feeling everything very intensely. The lover's actions doesn't change the intensity or the devotion. Slip being the end track is so beautiful to me. Don't Go is my favorite lyric in that song, because nothing in this album is demanding or dramatic or loud or bargained. This isn't a plea to change the ending. It's a record of loving through the uncertainty. Don't Go is something I silently plea myself anytime I enter a relationship, whether it be platonic or romantic. Something I say to myself and to the person to remain present, to show up for people and actively love them. And I think that's the foundation of this album. Swans mate for life, and personally, I think that's beautiful. So many animals mate for life. Everything is so instinctual with nature, so innate and simplistic. And I think as humans, we see it differently. Like there's this one person who, no matter what I try to do, I can't get rid of, and they have this hold on me. And we view that as a curse, that people have an imprint on our lives even after they're gone. But I'd fully believe in soulmates. I think you can have multiple soulmates in a lifetime, and I think they come into your life at specific moments to teach you lessons. But I do think that there's one that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, and that could be romantic and that could be platonic. And the central question that she opens the album with is love worth all the pain? And to that I say love is worth the pain when pain is not the price of staying. Devotion is beautiful until it asks you to disappear. That's the way I saw it during her live show, that the white swan loved purely, but the black swan loved consciously.
Beautiful.
Thank you,
Love
thank
that.
Bravo.
thank you.
Very touching and fitting introduction, I think, to the album. It's very good stuff.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead and go next. Melt, thought it was fantastic. It was an album that I think, surprised me in how good it was. I had heard a couple of the Maria songs because Catherine had like recommended them. I found them good, but not, I didn't like feel like I needed to listen to too much more, at least not right away. So this one, I wasn't sure exactly what my thoughts would be. Pretty much blew me away. I've been listening to it like nonstop since it was chosen for the album. And it just, I think part of the reason it connected so much to me is that it reminded me a lot of like other artists that I like a lot and respect, which is like Radiohead and Beach House, and not necessarily in a way where it just like sounds like them. I think Maria is like exploring maybe similar areas, similar environments, but she's going at it, in her own unique way. And it just, yeah, I felt like it was constructed very well.
So my thoughts on the album were, well, right off the bat, really liked it as well. I thought it was a nice, like a very, all the sounds went good together. It was a very pretty album. It felt kind of like a daydream to me. I really appreciated like every song, and I didn't realize this, but David mentioned that it would kind of sound like Beach House, and I didn't realize that until literally right now. It does sound like Beach House, and I love Beach House, but now that just like made me like it more now. So I'm
Yeah,
probably gonna
same here.
listen to it more. But yeah, I thought it was a really good album. Yeah, I thought it was really good, very well put together, and I really appreciated listening to her solo project because I also like the Marias, but I was interested in hearing in what like her own sound. So, and it was really good. And I wasn't disappointed.
Okay, I feel like I'm gonna be the odd one out because this isn't really like my type of music. But when I was listening to it, it did sound really nice, and like it was giving like lo-fi energy for me without the beats. So
Mhm.
like with this, it was like really soft and emotional, and it was more vibe based than like just the typical EDM music I would listen to. So like instead of it telling like a clear story, the song felt more like moods, and it was going based off of emotions than how lo-fi music works.
Yeah.
So for me, it felt like lo-fi without it being actual lo-fi. Emotionally soft, intimate, I think would be the word, and perfect for late night reflections. Like it makes you
I
really.
like that. Yeah.
Alrighty. So now that we have our main thoughts out of the way, we'll go into the meat of it. We'll go track by track. We'll start with Puddles.
Puddles was a really good opening track to me. It sounded very echoey and dreamy. Kind of reminded me of like dewdrops or like maybe like looking at like trees and grass after the rain. Maria actually wrote that one after she had literally fallen into a puddle, and it just inspired her right away. She spent a lot of her time writing this album outside in nature in the dead of winter in New York, and I think it shows. I think it was a very rich sound, very echoey, kind of like if you're in a cave and you kind of hear the echoes of like water dropping, which I really enjoyed sonically. And lyrically, I mean, I kind of touched on that a little bit before, but it kind of like feels as though you're looking at a relationship or a potential relationship, and I think anticipating the highs and the lows of it all. So I enjoyed kind of like the pendulum of that, if that makes sense. Yeah, I liked it.
The first song, Puddles, I liked it. It didn't really stick out to me that much, but I still enjoyed listening to it. Also, I only listened to this album once, so I have many in-depth opinions about it, but
Just mix
from what
them
I can
up.
remember, I remember I remember that it was a good song. I liked it. It was very pretty. I read the lyrics. I thought the lyrics were interesting, but I think the other songs, I think I liked the lyrics to the other songs more than this one. But still, overall, I still liked it. I still enjoyed listening to it. It was good. It was good.
Mm, I agree. For me, I thought more of like the title of it, Puddles, because Puddles is kind of like it's about your emotions that don't really fully disappear and stuff.
Mhm.
Which one cut with it? Oh. So like, because when you think of puddles, you think of like storms and stuff, but like the aftermath of the storms, what's left of it.
Yeah.
So like the puddles are the unavoidable like things that have to occur. So
Yeah.
you're left with your emotions and like you're just having to deal with your emotions and like go through them. But it's not as dramatic as like the storm was.
Mhm.
It's the lingering feelings that you have.
Like
Like
the introspection.
yeah. And the reflection of it as well, of like you reflecting upon it.
The next one is My Turn.
With this one, I really like this one. I think it's sonically stands out a bit on the record because it reminds me a little bit more of her project with the Marias. It's kind of more like this psychedelic indie little tune. And I like the subject matter as well. I think a lot of times we focus more on what people do to us than what we do to them, especially when we're hurt. So it was a theme that I enjoyed hearing her perspective on, just kind of taking accountability for something and at the same time wondering how that person might feel about her if they still miss her or think of her and vice versa. But yeah, I really liked it. Definitely one of the more Maria sounding tracks compared to the rest, but overall really good.
Yeah. This is the one where like the beach house vibes came in like really heavy. And I was like, oh
Mm.
man, this is sonically like very, very similar. But I listened to a few beach house songs because I was feeling those connections. And I feel like the way
Mhm.
that I guess whatever the album's mixed, all that stuff, I feel like
Mhm.
she fills the soundscape a little bit more, at least with her voice, especially. Kind of feels sort of like thick. And not necessarily to say like that's like better, but just this approach
Mhm.
for the album, I think it just worked really well. And I think it did create a little bit of like separation where it just like it didn't just sound like Beach House. It sounded like Beach House, but she has her own spin on things. And this song especially, like I think I might have said that before, but the layering of the voices, she does that a lot. I mean, it's not like it's unique necessarily, but she does it creating harmonies and also where like one of the voices is saying something else while the main voice is saying something like another thing. And I feel like that kind of intertwining. She does that a lot in the album, and I think it works really well. Yeah.
So My Turn is actually one of my favorites. And when I
Funny
first
hearing you
listened
say
to
that.
it, oh my gosh, how did you know? But I don't know. So the first time I listened to it, it was I was like, okay, like this is good. But then I read the lyrics and I was like, oh my gosh, wait, no, this is really good. And I don't know why I like the lyrics so much. I have seen some of her what are they called? Her interviews, and she talks about how much she appreciates like relationships and about how like she loves how like monogamous relationships and staying with
Mhm.
someone for a long time. So when I read these lyrics, I was very surprised because she's talking about hurting someone and that they didn't deserve it. Right? This is the right song? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know what like her intention with the lyrics were, but the way I interpreted it was that it says you didn't deserve it, all the things I did, and what a lesson learned. And I don't know if I'm misinterpreting the song, but I thought it was really good. I thought I was like it was a nice contrast for me, I think. And yeah, I really love their lyrics, honestly. Yeah, again, it was a really good song, but I think the lyrics are what did it for me.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because like it does give a nice contrast to the first one. I agree with that. Listening to it, like I do like the beat more because it does have like a nice steady beat and stuff. So the lyrics, I didn't quite understand the lyrics because for me, like it felt more like the first song. It made you like to reflect upon it of what you're doing and stuff. But the second one is like you're deciding to move forward at that point. Like you're starting. You could read it like you're finally speaking up in a relationship.
Mm.
You're choosing
Like
yourself.
taking accountability a little
Yeah.
bit.
You're choosing yourself after being secondary for so long.
Mm.
Yeah, it's
Really?
still,
Is that what the song was about?
I don't know. Oh, that's how I felt.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
okay,
art
okay.
is subjective, guys. Like, I don't think it's all one thing. But I kind of agree with all of you guys' standpoints. I think she's probably the way I like to think of it, I guess, is like she's exploring puddle by puddle now. And relationships are a two-way street. So it's
Yeah.
like, even if primarily she might have felt hurt or slighted by this relationship, it doesn't mean she didn't have a part to play. Even if it wasn't intentional,
Interesting.
it could have just been the fact that like she realized she did something wrong and she went too far, and maybe that person didn't deserve that kind of treatment. Maybe she did it intentionally, maybe she didn't, but we all hurt people regardless of intent. So
I was gonna say, I wonder if she's talking about like her ex in the band.
we're getting into
I
the
wonder if she's
tea.
talking about yeah, because I feel like I don't know. I think it's crazy that they're in such close proximity to each other in a relationship. But I mean, I know they went to therapy and stuff and they worked it out.
Mhm.
And she even talked about it in her interview about how like that love doesn't always have to be like territorial, like like romantic love can be turned into platonic love. And she just worded it so well, and I was like, wow, like I've never thought about it that way. And like I remember I saw it on TikTok and people were saying like, oh, Mother is healed, and I was like, she is healed. She is.
And to add to that, she did actually get into a relationship after Josh. I don't know with who, I don't
Really?
really. Yeah, I didn't like keep up with
Wait,
it.
right now?
I don't think currently, but I think after their relationship ended, because their relationship, I believe, ended either before or after cinema. I forget, like their Maria's project. And then the band went through therapy and they kind of just like decided to keep
Yeah.
on going with it. But in her words, she considers herself like a serial monogamist where she feels that she's always dating. And I think her intention with this album was more to kind of be introspective and see how she felt alone. Like, as much as she loves obviously the boys and her project, I think she really wanted to focus on herself and
Yeah.
the things that she felt throughout that time while she was alone with her thoughts,
So the next song we'll be doing is Swan.
Swan is definitely one of my favorites off of this album. I have a lot of favorites, but Swan is definitely up there. That one also gives me kind of the Radiohead vibes, David.
Yeah.
And I love the lyrics. I could love you like a swan would resonates very deeply with me, as I was saying earlier, just like the intensity of that. Because swans do mate for life and they even grieve when they lose their partner. And I think it's like a beautiful, tragic thing that happens. And I think I think that people could learn a lot from swans, honestly, and just in the simplicity of their devotion to each other. It's just really romantic to me. And yeah, I loved it.
Adding on to your Radiohead, a song that like immediately when I started hearing it, one, I liked that it was like pretty different from the rest of the album that we've heard so
Yeah.
far, but was Idiotech, Kid A. It also has vibes from other like Kid A songs in general, but I just think the way it sounded, the percussion, the beat, just like the energy, it just got really intense Idiotech vibes. I just thought it was executed really well. I did like how she keeps her breaths in a lot whenever she's singing. That's something I like in general, but I felt like it really worked well for this song because the song itself kind of feels sort of like icy and cold, like a little bit different. Some of our other songs in the album kind of feel a little bit warmer and full, but this one felt sort of barren, like you're in this like icy like landscape that's kind of like harsh a little bit. In this song, there was like a lot of layering of like tiny sort of minute sounds. I kind of just added to that like Radiohead kind of vibe as well.
Well, for me, the song it was a little more upbeat and like well, just like the melody of it. It was nicer, and when I thought of the song, it makes me think of like an actual swan, how they look so elegant and so calm on the surface. But then you also got to think about like underneath them, like how like under the water, their feet are constantly paddling. So like there's a bunch of chaos going underneath, but on the outside, like from the top or like the surface, you could see you don't see that. You see their resilience and like
Yeah.
their elegance.
Mhm. I love
Uh,
that perspective. Yeah.
so it's like the song presents more of like a calmness and beauty, but the lyrics suggest that there's something heavier
Mhm.
underneath.
Yeah, like part of me is a part of you kind of looping and cycling
Yeah.
with each other, almost like
Yeah.
existentially.
Yeah. That's how I saw the song.
Mhm.
And it's coming from someone who's like never heard like this type of music before. So
Mhm. So I liked the song. I really liked the lyrics a lot. Just like Catherine was talking about how she wants to make the life. That was really romantic. And yeah, I just really enjoyed reading the lyrics. I was literally reading the lyrics right now. Well, the very first one already off the bat says, I could love you like a swan would. I could love you to the end." I just think that's so romantic. That's so cute. I love it.
Agreed.
I think the song itself, not necessarily something I listen to, but I will say that the lyrics were really good. It was very captivating though. I enjoyed listening to all of it from the beginning to end, and I just love how romantic Maria makes it. I don't know how she does it, but it's really good. But yeah, I did enjoy the song a lot. It was really good.
So that was Swan. The next one we'll be talking about is Not the Only One.
Yeah, I also really loved this one. When she sang it live, it was actually one of my favorite parts of her show. It was after Swan, after she quote unquote dies and is reborn, and she's on a bed, and then like snow starts falling as she sings. I just think it was a very pretty visual. But yeah, I really like this one. This one's one of the more complex feelings that can arise in a relationship that I think on the surface of it, when you don't know what someone's going through, you can kind of demonize a little bit. Like, I think it can be interpreted as a form of cheating, which I know we've all talked about a lot of times before. Obviously, like, don't cheat, guys, very against cheating. But I think that this more captures like an emotional separation between two people and sort of seeking that attention elsewhere, or maybe even just finding it, stumbling upon it. One of my favorite parts of this song is actually the bridge. She says that like when she cries in the night, he listens to her, he sees her, and she's asking herself like, why don't you? Why can't you do this for me? And unfortunately, I think that that's something that happens in a lot of relationships. They deteriorate, they erode over time. People get complacent, they get comfortable, and they stop putting in effort to continuously engage with their partner, to have deep conversations, to know them, and to want to keep knowing them because people evolve, right? So it doesn't stop once you are in an established committed relationship. It's not just like you're always getting to know someone. I feel like I always think there's more to unearth with people, and that's part of what I love about connecting with people. To be seen is to be loved at the end of the day. And I think this track really, really hit a nerve for me because that is something I have felt multiple times in my life and have felt guilty about sometimes platonically, even like, just wishing that the people that you want, I guess, to see you, they don't all the time. And it's something that's difficult to come to terms with.
yeah, it's like wanting reassurance without wanting to ask for it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think part of that is like feeling like you shouldn't have to ask, right? Or
Yes.
that's what I would
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
It should, like, you should want to. Like, I think that's like part of the desperation in the bridge is like, why don't you want to know me and comfort me and love me? Like, why don't you do it? And it's really sad. But
Mm.
it happens often.
I feel like this was looking kind of one of my least favorite songs.
Oh.
I mean, it was still good though, but I think the only thing that I didn't really like was how she kept repeating, "Oh wait, no, 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 never mind. I'm thinking about Back to You." Never mind, sorry y'all. Not the only one. I think I like Not the Only One when I now that I think about it. I don't really remember because I listened to the whole album once. But the only one I remember I really had a real opinion on, well, with like me not really enjoying it that much was Back to You. But this isn't Back to You, so I think I did like this song.
But it's funny that you mentioned repeating. I wrote down like for that song Back to You. I kind of like that part of it. Like it kind
I
of
do
felt
too.
like sort of the
Really?
incantation, like a witch might do to kind of like bring something into existence that she really
Right.
wants. Yeah.
Okay, Laura, I'm on
Yeah.
your side. I'm on your side.
Really? For Back
Oh
to You?
no.
Sorry.
I
You didn't
love the
like Back to
piano at the
You?
beginning.
It's the ending. Just the repeated
Mm.
lyrics.
Oh my gosh. Yes, you understand me.
I want to say something really quick. I was something.
Yes.
I I think that I would normally agree actually with that take because it's one of the reasons why I do enjoy various genres of music, including pop. But I think it's one of the reasons why, for example, like with some mainstream pop songs, I get tired of them faster or like I kind of they don't stick with me because they're meant to be catchy. They're meant to be a little bit more repetitive and like easier to sing along to, things like that. But I think when repetition is used with intention, I like it because I'm a yearner and I'm desperate, guys. Sorry. So I love that she repeats that over and over because it feels desperate and urgent and not so much like a demand, as I was saying, but like she's begging, kind of, I guess, like a kind of like a soft plea, kind of like how she did in Slip with "Don't Go." Like she's just like I just feel like she's kind of asking this person to love her in so many different ways, and but she just feels him kind of pulling further away, and I love like he did that. So yeah, I didn't mean to talk about that to you, but I guess we kind of did.
I almost feel like with Back to You that we're almost just passing by for the duration of the song, and once we leave, she might be there for like an eternity, like just repeating that over and over again. It kind of just feels
Okay.
like, yeah, this really intense need.
Yeah, I kind of it's kind of sad, but I pictured as like a swan that like lost their mate and they're just sitting there waiting for it to come back.
Yes. See, when we're making all these comparisons, it like and I'm like, okay, wait, maybe it wasn't.
Maybe it
I
wasn't
love
trash.
no, I love the yearning. Like I think that is
Yeah.
so like yearning for someone and their love. I think that I don't know. I think Maria definitely gets it. She definitely gets it. But I didn't think about it that way, the way you guys were talking about, where how she's just repeating it over and over, hoping that maybe, like how David said, that like by just saying it over and over, her wish will come true.
Manifesting.
It kind of makes it like, yes, it like kind of makes it like more sad, but like just more also like sentimental
Yeah.
and just like romantic. And also, like you said, Catherine, a swan who lost their mate. And I can see that in my head and it just makes it more what's the word? Like it gives it way more meaning than I didn't even think about those things.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for opening
Yeah.
Matt.
We try.
Like we just did like the whole like change my mind thing that people do.
Yeah.
So the next one we'll be talking about is Magnet.
That was one that every time I listen to this record, I feel like it took me a second to like pay attention to it, if that makes sense. I always noticed it because of how her vocals kind of reverberate a lot, and that was something that stuck out to me with that track. But I feel like I didn't really fully pay attention to the lyrics until semi recently, and I really love it. I think this one kind of gives me that will-o'-the-wisp kind of vibe, as if she's luring me or directing me somewhere, and I'm just following her voice. And I kind of got that vibe during her show as well because she has like a lot of moss on the stage, and at one point she uses these like blue lights that kind of like start blinking, and that's what it makes me think of. It's a song that I feel like I just kind of follow down whatever path it takes me. I really, really liked it a lot.
She's pulling you
Yeah,
like a magnet.
exactly.
Hey.
But
Yeah, Magnet, by far my favorite song on the album. I was just like, I would get to this one and I would just replay it like multiple times. Like I just couldn't get enough. It was just so good to me. Another Radiohead comparison, Daydreaming, was a song that I felt a lot as like a similarity for this one, especially with like the strings. The bass is really good, like immediately just it sets this really intense mood. The layering, I think, with the vocals on the song is just divine. Like, it kind of reminded me of like a web almost, just like just strings just weaving in and out. The voice is, I think, maybe like you were saying with the Will of the Wisp, remind me of like a specter.
very cool.
And yeah, the strings, I said, they were devastating to me. There's this one part where it goes in, I think, in between like verses, and you just get this moment where the strings are kind of like coming into focus, and it just really, each time I listen to it, it just gripped me just internally, like so deep. I think like you were talking about with like the trees and the centuries, I kind of felt like it was like this connection to like an ageless longing. It just brought, and it was just like a very small part in between verses, and it just brought like this intense, feeling to me. I also got the feeling of like the way whales sing to each other. Just like I was just imagining it just like in the deep, dark depths, like just visceral, intense, just full of vibration, just carrying across the ocean. I think the only criticism would be like I wish it was 10 minutes longer. But yeah, I love this one.
I think Magnet was a good song. It did give a Radiohead a lot, which I really liked because I love Radiohead. I think if I were to listen to the song and Maria wasn't singing it, I would be like, oh, this is like a Radiohead song. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I really liked the lyrics as well. I think it's not like my top favorites, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good song.
Yeah, honestly, this song was like I'm with you on this one, David. This is one of my favorite songs from the album itself, but also because of the placement of it. Because when you think about the song right before it, that was not what was it
Not the only one.
Not the only one. Not the only one talks about more of like vulnerability and stuff. Like it's more of an attraction that feels towards like vulnerability, whereas Magnet talks about more of the feeling of inevitability, where like you're more drawn to someone without choosing to be, or like you're resisting. Your resisting feels pointless because the chemistry is like being overdriven. It overdrives the reasoning for it, and the song really does pull you in because it's kind of hypnotic for me.
Yeah.
Like it feels like it feels like I can feel it.
Mhm.
So I think I really like the placement of it, and there is like subtle repetition, but it's nice. This is like something you would like listen to like either slow dancing or like late night drives, being close without having to talk to somebody and stuff. That's how I feel with this.
I love that. Yeah.
It's romanticizing attraction as something natural and unavoidable.
Yes.
Mhm.
I like that.
Very visceral. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And the next and I think final song we'll be talking about, because of time constraints, will be Vueltas.
That one was also another favorite of mine. It was interesting because Maria actually wrote the song as like a love letter to the song itself. And I thought that was really interesting. Essentially, she couldn't sleep and like the melody in the song kept waking her up. And so it kind of forced her to write it. And I really love how she says like corazón, corazón, and then coraza instead to say heart, heart, armor, because I think that hearts are, of course, one of the strongest organs we have, and that they continue even though they break. And I think with this song, it almost sounds like she's singing to a lover, but I think she's singing to her love of the craft, the love of what she does and how she expresses herself and kind of makes her imprint, her mark on the world creatively.
I agree with you, David. I wish the song was longer. I loved
Same.
like it was so good, and I also liked that she has had other songs in Spanish, but I like that it was in Spanish. I thought I feel like Spanish sounds, they say it's like a romantic language, and I feel like it
Mhm.
is like
It is.
in it, and like it's so nice, and it sounds like I feel like when in Spanish words have more meaning. I don't know how to explain it. Like
I agree.
everything just sounds more.
Mhm.
I just really liked it. I thought the whole song so good. Definitely one of my favorites on this album for sure. I do wish it was longer, like 10 minutes.
So, if you don't know what this means, it means like turns or like loops or going in circles type of thing. So, like when you think of it like from the song's
Mhm.
perspective, this feels like going in circles emotionally with someone. In this kind of instance, it's like where it feels like you're stuck, not happy, just unresolved, or like you're softly frustrated, like with this type, like because you do love them, but it is mentally exhausting type of thing.
I was just gonna say that it's so interesting that you say that, because she kind of does say like to leave her, but also like that it's a part of her at the same time. And I definitely think that applies to exactly like what you were saying.
It's the loop of liking someone but not fully landing. Like you have the same conversations, same feelings on different days, but like I don't know, it's interesting. It's like you're overthinking too much.
Yeah.
Mhm. Like she's aware she's stuck in a loop of like leave me, but I don't want you to leave me. Like she's aware of the cycle, but she doesn't want to break it yet. Well, because like love isn't a straight line. Love is full of
Mhm.
loops and obstacles and difficulties, vulnerabilities. And this album really does well with that, articulating that in a sense.
Yeah.
So that was most of Melt. I was afraid we wouldn't have enough to talk about, but we had the opposite problem, which is good. We had so much to talk about. This went better than I could have expected. All y'all did great. Good thoughts, good opinions, back and forth. Thought it went very well. The next album we'll be discussing, what was it again? As I Watched My Life Online, I think it was.
Late night. Yeah.
A Late Night Drive Home.
Never heard of it.
Everyone,
Never heard of it.
everyone listen to I listened to the first song and I liked it, but I didn't want to listen to the rest of it because I wanted to focus on Melt. But yeah, I'll be listening to that. Thank you all for joining and giving your time. I thought this went well. Thank you guys.
Thank
Thank
you guys for listening. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Good pick.
We're awesome.
Good pick,
Okay.
Break. Yeah. All the pressure is on Laura now to have her pick be just as good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen. I will say I equally love that album probably as much as she does. So I will back her all the way. And we went to the concert together too. So there's a lot of things to say about that project.
I will make
Awesome.
notes for next time for the next one.
I think I'll
Awesome,
do the same.
awesome.
I think it helps.
Yeah. It does help a lot. All right. This was great. Looking forward to the next one. Talk to you guys later. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Adios.
Bye, my friend.